50% or greater correction in price, what happens is the emission rate goes down to 25% below this peg. And now, due to the fact that we have a constant inflow of capital, which is taking the tokens, buying them from PancakeSwap, removing them from circulation, we have our tax protocols, which is taking the tokens that are being transacted and removing them from circulation. And on L2, we have the collateral rehypothecation as well, which is creating, tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of additional buy pressure, which is being used to buy and remove the farm tokens from circulation. We now have a situation where the tokens are being removed from circulation at a greater rate than they're being emitted. So now what we have is the world's first deflationary lending platform, yield farm, that pays out rewards in BUSD, right? So we're addressing every little piece of game theory that affects the price of a farm token, and we're designing it in a way to remove all incentive for selling the token and creating as much demand and as much incentive as possible for buying it, while reducing the supply as fast as possible and creating as many cash flows of new capital, which is independent from people buying, to force additional buy pressure into these tokens to cause price appreciation. And what I've seen in my studies is it's always better, if you're going to have profits being created, it's always better to do it in the form of price appreciation over some sort of reward system. When I say reward system, I mean ROI, APY, whatever it is. The reason for this is because when you look at CoinMarketCap, DEX tools, DApp Radar, all of these analytic systems, they're not looking at what you're paying out in APY. They're not looking at what you're paying out in ROI. They're looking at how much have you appreciated in price. And this is what determines whether you get on their top mover list or their, DEX tools trending or, whatever the case is, top gainers. So we wanted to ensure that the APY that it pays out, the rewards that it pays out, both in the form of the dog token, which can then be used to earn BUSD through pig staking, is high enough so it's always more beneficial to be a farmer and a staker than it is to be a trader and a seller, or a trader and a holder. But the majority of capital flow and the majority of appreciation will be seen in the form of price appreciation, right? And that's important because that will get us the most exposure on all these other platforms. And it also just makes the community bullish, right? There's nothing that makes people want to celebrate and go tell their friends and self-market and, community market more than the price hitting a new all-time high. And we've designed the system to be the only yield farm lending platform that focuses first and foremost on price appreciation, with the underlying utility of farming and lending to ensure that it's always more beneficial to be a farmer and a staker than it is to be a holder and a trader, right? So we're hitting both sides of this. Now, the pig stakers, right? The stakers in the pig, what we call the pig pen, right? It's similar to our safe house in the Rev token. They can vote on proposals based on how much pig they have staked in the pig pen. So there's other protocols out there that allow people to vote on proposals, but they kind of went about it, I feel, in the wrong way, where they're looking at how many of these tokens you have in your wallet, right? And we don't want that, because that would incentivize people to remove their tokens from staking to have it in their wallet before it's time to vote on a proposal to, get involved. And it also allows for people that want to affect the proposal to just buy a ton of it right before the proposal, make their vote, and then sell it. We designed our system specifically so it's only accepting the votes from pigs that are in the pig staking platform, this pig staking contract called the Pigpen, right? So it's truly giving the power to the hands of the people with literally the most stake in the platform, right? And it's another innovation that has never been done, but it's based on game theory that we know works, right? So I'm not going to get into what L3 will be in detail at all. I'll just say, just write a quick, one paragraph explanation is L3 will be the ability for other projects to partner with us, give a amount of tokens to us that they want to be used as rewards. And then when people stake their token with our dog token or our pig token or drip, the people that are in those farms will now get paid out in their token. So this is how we create even more sustainability by migrating to a system that pays out rewards primarily in other people's tokens, not our tokens. So people are being rewarded from buying our tokens and removing them from circulation in the form of other people's tokens. So that's where those rewards will come from. And of course, these other projects will have incentive to do this because they'll get massive exposure to our community, right? And they'll get a extremely deep decentralized liquidity pool from all the people adding to their liquidity pool by pairing our tokens with their tokens. So this will be the first evolution into L3 that will launch, and it's not going to be a replacement of L2 because L2 has its own individualized utility and mechanics. It's just a new use case and a new set of tools and opportunity that will be adding to the farm as a whole, right? And we also have other extremely bullish layers that we plan to add, such as cross-chain abilities, such as NFTs, such as further integration into Drip, right? Most likely through some kind of lending protocol that allows you to take a loan against your Drip collateral, right? What you have staked in the faucet. This will be utilized in the farm protocol. So let me get into how this massively benefits Drip, right? People are going to see that Drip is the only core farm and core pool on the platform that's deflationary, that does not have a tax on it, and that has a high multiplier. So Drip has a 10x multiplier. Drip BUSD has a 10x multiplier. So this means is people will get a large, APY payout of the Rev token for staking Drip above any of the non-core platform farms or pools, right? On top of this, we pay out the Rev token in BUSD, which is the token needed to get into the Drip garden, and it's the most direct way to add liquidity to the Drip liberation contract, right? So we have aligned all of the mechanics of both L1 and L2, right, to reward people for removing Drip from circulation and buying Drip. Specifically, adding stable liquidity to Drip, right? And people noticed when we had the initial launch of the Drip Garden, right? We had this big spike up on our native DEX, and then we had a big spike up on PancakeSwap, and then they both settled in with each other, like there was some arbitrage there, created a new, stronger base on both platforms, which we could then build from, right? With the launch of L1 and L2, there'll be the same huge influx of capital, right? We had $12 million of fresh capital coming into Drip with the launch of the Garden. And the Garden pays out rewards in Drip USD, right? So it's paying out rewards in Drip. L1 and L2, not only do they reward you in a huge way for buying Drip and removing it from circulation, it also is not paying out rewards in Drip. So it's removing Drip from circulation, adding more stable liquidity to Drip without ever feeding more Drip back out into the ecosystem. So it's even more bullish for Drip than the Garden was. It's also a much bigger deal than the Garden. But the reason why we launched the Drip Liberation of the Garden first is to get a strong base of stable liquidity. This way, we won't have the kind of event that you saw with the launch of the Garden, where we have this crazy whiplash arbitrage, as it went from there being $300,000 worth of liquidity to $12 million worth of liquidity overnight, right? That caused a big shakeup, right? Which was extremely bullish, right? But whenever you cause some big shakeup, it's going to cause some people to just have no clue what's going on. And essentially, like, you know, I don't want to say panic, because no one panicked, but you want to have, when you have a crazy onboarding like that, you want to have some element of stability. So we created a deep, stable liquidity pool for Drip. Right now it's over $14 million. And what this does, it ensures that we don't have any kind of like crazy whiplash effect when we have this huge tsunami of Drip liquidity being added to it. So we already have that strong base there that will now just, you know, continue to grow at a rapid rate from this. So it couldn't, L1 couldn't be more bullish for Drip. And then L2, right? Not only does L2 have a higher multiplier than any of the non-core farms and pools, it's also the only non-core pool, or it's the only core pool, or you know, it's the only farm, I should say, right, that pays out the pig token that isn't a liquidity pair of the farm token. So what I mean is there's dog BUSD, there's dog BNB, and there's dogs, right, which are all the farm token. Drip BUSD is the only one that isn't a farm token that pays out in pigs. So it's the only one that allows you to grow a larger shared ownership of the lending platform yield farm that isn't the farm token, right? So this is another massive use case and incentive for people to buy Drip, remove it from circulation, lock up that liquidity, decentralize that liquidity. And, you know, there has never been something launched involving Drip even close to as big as this is going to be for Drip, right? And the best part about it is it's not a one-time thing, right? We do L1, then 14 days later we do L2, and then L2 creates a sustained incentive and a sustained demand for people to continue to use the BUSD that they're earning from the pig staking protocol to get into the Drip Liberation contract, buying Drip and removing it from circulation. Now I'm going to talk about a partnership that we have lined up, but my dog's barking right now because my mailman just got here. So let me just address that. I'll let Bartertown or someone step in for a minute while I just let my dog out, but I'll be right back to talk about a partnership.
I got you,
Forex.
bro.
Okay.
Let me
John, what's up? Yeah, bro.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I just wanted to ask Forex to have a look at something I sent him. Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Yo, squad. Everything he just said was super duper bullish, and I like that layer 3 idea, right? Because we're not replacing layer 2, but we're opening up an avenue for all these guys. Hey, I want to partner with Drip. Hey, why don't you partner with Drip? Hey, this and that, and the third with Drip. Put your money where your mouth is. Get a big position in L2. Try to get your community to get Pig's governance token, and try to earn your way, vote your coin into a position where they can be a part of layer 3. That's the optimal way for another community out there looking to also get exposure to their own community and their own projects. If you guys are truly as successful as you are, put your bag up, get your Pig governance token, and try to get your position in that L3, so that way we compare, you know what I'm saying, Drip with your token, or Dogs with your token, or Pigs with your token. So that right there, fire. Bullish. And shout out to the squad, of course.
All right. So,
Forex, can you just look at the private group, please? Just 2 lines.
what private group? The admin group?
The win group.
Oh yeah, sure. All right. So yeah, let me just see whatever that is, and then I'll talk about a partnership that we have. Okay. All right. So essentially, he asked me a question privately because he probably didn't want to bring up something that might not be possible, may or may not be possible. But he asked about bridging to allow for rehypothecation on Uniswap as well. And yes, that is very possible, but we would need to implement some sort of cross-chain, which is something that we will eventually do through our ability to evolve with additional layers. But we're targeting PancakeSwap for L1 and the launch of L2 because it's the lowest risk way to do it, right? We're already on that chain. They're already providing 30-40% APY, which is a huge amount of capital to earn on, hundreds, if not billions of dollars, right? Earning 30 to 40% off that every year, which goes immediately to buying the token and removing it from circulation, and to pay for, for consistent marketing and all of the associated costs and everything. So there's a lot of options that we can do with that. And I even said when we first started this that our options for lending platforms that we work with, we have options there, but we're targeting PancakeSwap because it's the lowest risk, right? So that's that. Now, a partnership that we have lined up, right? There's a new celebrity DeFi platform called Current, which is just getting going, right? But there's big players behind it, right? There's a comedian, he passed away in 2017, named Dick Gregory, a famous black comedian. The person who is behind Current is the person that manages his estate, and also this company does licensing and managing for celebrities, essentially. They have a NFT platform called Current, which they are in the process of launching. And I'll name some of the celebrities they already have on board, right? They have Dick Gregory, even though he's passed away, the person behind this manages his estate. So they'll be able to do memorial NFTs for him and all kinds of cool things for him. A woman called Augusta Sina, right? She has $6.7 million. 6.7 million followers on Instagram, right? And a ton on a bunch of other platforms. Guy named Mr. Brad James, he has like 150,000. A guy, Dickman Basketball, who's a professional athlete, right? He does these like street ball events. He has over 100,000 on Instagram, a bunch more on a bunch of other platforms. They manage the licensing of the Fugees, right? The awesome artists, right? That they were very famous in the 2000s. A guy called Chief Aki, who has like 170,000 subscribers, and they just signed an African artist named Boy Spice, who has a ton of a huge following in Africa. He's really coming up, and what they're doing is they're providing licensing deals for NFTs for these artists. These NFTs are being sold on their platform, and then so they're being sold in the form of for BUSD and BNB. This is on Binance Smart Chain. All of the BNB and BUSD that buys these NFTs then gets staked on the back end by buying drip, putting it into the faucet, and then people from holding these NFTs get airdropped a share of the drip that is being earned in the back end through the faucet, the 1% a day that Current is earning through essentially taking all of the capital that they earn from the sale of these NFTs and putting it into drip. So right now they have 6 or 7 celebrities and artists that they've brought on. They're in the process of getting a lot more, right? They have a lot of connections. They're really big in the entertainment space, and these 6 or 7 people I just listed, they already have the licensing deal with them. There's a lot more that are in the works, right? So the way that this platform will work is it'll be marketed as a DeFi NFT platform for celebrities where people can go and buy NFTs, and it will be promoted as a cross promotion with drip. But for the most part, the average user won't even know what's going on in the back end, right? All they know is they love this celebrity, they want to own their NFT, and cool, we get to own our favorite celebrity's NFT, and we make some profit off of it. If they look into the details, they'll realize that profit is coming from the fact that all of that capital that is coming into the platform to buy these NFTs is used to buy drip, 100% of it. And then that drip is put into the faucet where they then compound it and continue to earn it. And they have a quarterly payout where a percentage of the drip that's earned in the faucet gets paid out to them. And of course, this is extremely bullish because not only is it locking up more drip, it's paying out rewards to the people that earn it in the form of airdrops using our native system. So it's not being sent to them as drip that they can just immediately sell in the market. It's being put into their drip stake, right? So it's bringing a ton of new capital it's going to bring a ton of new capital into the drip platform and into the drip ecosystem. And it's going to pay out drip that is essentially earned by this capital onboarding, right? There's no additional drip being created to pay them out. So essentially, it's a platform that's going to use the merchandising of entertainment assets, right, and the backing of celebrity to bring capital in, and then 100% of this capital will be staked, trustlessly on the back end into the faucet by swapping all the BNB and all the BUSD that comes in with drip and putting it into the faucet. So this is a massive project that I know the developers behind it. They're solid developers, right? It's not like some new people in the space. I've known these people for a couple of years now. They've built some other pretty cool projects. This specific project is called Current with a Q, QRRENT. They haven't made too much information public yet because they want to get everything 100% established and then make like a big promotional announcement. But while I had everybody here, and I just had a conversation about it this morning, I wanted to let people know about it, because essentially this is everybody here. This is your opportunity to load up on Drip if you're not already loaded up, or continue to compound and have even more confidence in the Drip system, knowing that we have this major deal right around the corner, where the contracts are already built. The licensing deals for at least 6 or 7 of these artists is already done and in the works. And right now they're just in the process of, getting their website up and the logistics of it, which there's a lot of red tape when it comes to working with a bunch of celebrities at once and all that stuff to do it right, which they are doing it right. And they're a US based company as well. So it's not like a DeFi project that's like, on chain only. The fact that they're working with these celebrities, they had to incorporate, they have contracts with these celebrities. They do licensing, as I said. So this is a major, major deal for us. And it's one of the first, but also one of the most powerful developments that is going to be integrated and built on top of Drip by a completely independent development team, right? So it's its own platform, but it's powered by Drip, and it's driving capital into Drip. It couldn't be more bullish. It couldn't be more amazing, right? So on top of this, I know 3 or 4 other dev teams that are building. In fact, one of them, I helped them find the developer that they needed to build their project. It's essentially a like a moon token, right? But the difference is, what it does is, this is a separate project I'm talking about now. What it does is it takes a percentage of all of every transaction of their token, and it diverts it to buying Drip, and then locks up that Drip. And when people stake that secondary token, it then pays them Drip out of their stake. So what this does is, it's a whole additional project, right? Targeting its own audience with its own game theory and its own, its own marketing and all of that. But a percentage of every buy, or every swap, I should say, not even every buy, of every transaction, is being diverted into Drip to buy and lock up Drip. So this is another example of a project that's coming out, which is more of like a meme token, but it's a meme token through integration with Drip, has that sticking power and that stability and that real additional use case in the back end. So there are multiple projects that I know that are building similar things to this. That NFT project that I spoke about, right? That is celebrity based. It's using the let me just think what the numbers are here. I know it's like 3711 or 371. Let me see. It's anyways, it doesn't matter. They're using a specific protocol where the funds are automatically divested as part of the protocol, right? So when people buy these NFTs, the NFT contract itself is what's buying the Drip and staking it, right? So it's all happening trustlessly. So there's so much in the works for Drip that, it's we're I wouldn't even say we are like 5% of where we're going to be in the next year, as far as user base, as far as utility, as far as projects building on us, as far as marketing. when I look at our analytics, right? When I look at our website's analytics, over 90% are coming from the US, right? Visitors. This means we haven't even cracked the surface when it comes to China or India or these other markets that are even more viral than the US is. And it's only a matter of time before we do that. So I know that there's we have a decent push in Korea, right? But we need to focus more on hitting these other markets. And we have a Chinese group set up, which is doing what we can to push into that. But that's going to be one of my main focuses in the upcoming months, is specifically targeting China and India, right? So when you look at our TVL and our volume as against the other top 10 projects on DApp Radar, we're not even a tenth of what they are as far as TVL, which is total locked value, and volume. But our growth analytics blow them out of the water. So it's only a matter of time before we also surpass them in TVL and volume. And the thing that's so cool about Drip is it's not linear. So if we get 10% more capital into Drip, it's not 10% greater price appreciation, right? Because of the deflationary aspect of it. It's 10% more capital equals 80% more price appreciation, right? Those aren't the exact numbers, but that's around about the exact numbers, just to do it off the top of my head. But so I see Drip being a multi-billion-dollar platform. I see the Animal Farm being, due to the nature of it's not just people locking up capital in the Rev or in the dog pig tokens, it's also locked collateral in the form of lending. I see that being tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions eventually, right? As DeFi grows, as the crypto market grows. When you look at our peers, right, they're cracking billions of dollars. And not only is there no reason why we shouldn't be outpacing them. We are outpacing them, but have outpaced them, have broken past them. It's inevitable that we will outpace them due to our game theory and our mechanics and the strength of our system alone. So, I don't like to give price predictions, and I never give price predictions. But when I talk about our analytics, right, we're looking at multi-billion-dollar TVL, which, it's simple math, right? This isn't about giving a price prediction. It's just talking about simple math. That makes a multi-$1,000 drip, right? So that's our future. If you looked at our analytics for this month's growth, it's more growth than we've ever seen before, almost tripling the growth that we saw last month. And we're going parabolic, right? And we're going to put our full focus now into assisting other development teams that want to build on top to give more use case to Drip, to marketing outside of the US and Europe to really start to hit, China and India, and go harder to South Korea and Brazil and some of these other countries. In fact, this NFT project, one of the artists, like I said, one of the artists that they have a licensing agreement with is a major artist in Africa that's really blowing up. So that will help us in that end. On top of this, right, I know we've been talking about our deal in South America for a while, but progress is being made there, right? So we do have a very large streamer who is preparing to do a full marketing campaign of Drip in Latin America, speaking Spanish, targeted towards them. So it's a matter of time, right? It's not a matter of anything but time until we not only outpace them in growth analytics, but also TVL and volume. On either Monday or Tuesday, I'm going on a YouTube channel. The guy's name is Juby's Gems. He just got back to me. He said he wanted to do it on Tuesday at noon, but the thing is, we're launching, the Manor Farm on Tuesday, so I don't want to go on live 1 hour after we do the launch because I'm sure I'll be needed to answer questions and assist people and all that. So I got back to him, and we'll either do it on Monday, right? I'll go on, and this person has 150,000 subscribers, somewhere around there, that are super active in DeFi. So I'll either be on with him Monday or Tuesday afternoon after launch to not only promote the launch of Manor Farm, but also Drip and the future of both Drip, the Manor Farm, and the Animal Farm. So, I mean, I'm kind of a monotone person. I couldn't be more excited, right? I'm blown away by the analytics that we're seeing, mainly because we did projections before we launched, right? We looked at all the other daily RFI type platforms, and we made projections going out 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And we looked at, all right, well, if we perform like them, where will we be in 1 year? If we perform twice as well as them, where will we be in 1 year? If we outpace them by 10x, where will we be in 1 year? Where will we be in 5 years? Where will we be in 10 years? All of our projections, right? By what we did is we took their numbers and plugged them into our mechanics. And all of our projections showed we continue to.
Forex, you're breaking up, bro. You muted now, Forex.
Sorry, I just Telegram just crashed. Yeah. So our projections show we continue to grow and we get stronger when we plug in their numbers into our mechanics. We continue to grow. We continue to get stronger, right? 1 year, 5 years, decades down the road, we continue to get stronger. Our real analytics have blown all of our projections out of the water, right? And they make our projections look like a blip, right? So it's just amazing, and a lot of that is due to the community, due to guys like On and Bartertown and Black Sheep and Thomas and Angel and all the people out there that are making it happen. Guys like Baby Grinch who are building things, guys like Matthew who are building. My partner BB, of course, who none of this.
We're just a shadow. We're just a shadow of you. We're just a shadow. We're trying to keep up with your extra hard work. We can't. We're just a tiny fraction. Thank you, Forex.
You guys,
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you guys produce a platform that allows us to build on. So without a community, a DeFi project is nothing. So you guys make it happen, and also. They're just the nature of our groups, right? There's we couldn't have a more helpful, more friendly, more positive group in crypto. You never see it like that. Look at every other group. It's when Moon, when whatever, right? People hating on each other, spammers. We got none of that. It's all positive. It's all people helping each other. And that is, almost solely due to the community and our admins and our moderators and everybody who's making this happen. So I appreciate it. I love all you guys. I'm so grateful for everything that you've helped us do. And, Happy New Year. It couldn't be a happier New Year, right? We're all winning. And look back, it's not just Drip. The first project I ever launched, Reap, winning, hitting all-time highs. Be Reap, all-time highs. Drip, all-time highs. You know, everything we touch is winning because when we build something, we don't build something on how are we going to create profits. We look at how are we going to build value, and the profits take care of themselves. And that is our same motive when we go into building the Manor Farm, right? So, you know, thanks for everybody for listening. I'll take a couple questions, right? Where I'm not going to do questions for the next like hour or whatever, but I'll take some questions. So I don't know if we have the ability for people to like raise their hand. Yeah, we do. Okay. So I'm going to answer some of these questions now. And I would say if your question is, can we change this or can we build this? Hit us up privately, right? This isn't the spot to publicly say, can we do this really cool idea and make it public to everybody that's listening, right? If you have something really cool that we should be doing, or something that you think we should make an adjustment that would make that you feel would be really cool, right? Let's handle it privately. So we're not just giving this competitive advantage to everybody that's listening. But if you have a question about how we're going to launch the platform, you know, some of the tokenomics, anything I've mentioned today, yeah, feel free. So I'm just gonna start at the top. All right, Pixel, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Forex, hey, thanks for allowing me to speak. Just a quick question. I apologize, I joined late on the conversation. My question was in regards to the 3% commission. Now, is that based on, like, is that ongoing based on the time they actually recompound, or how does that exactly work? I am looking at the white paper, just didn't quite get it.
Yeah, okay. The way that it works is it's based on what they harvest from the farm. So the reason why that's important is because it doesn't create an opportunity for people to self-refer, make a large deposit, then withdraw, self-refer from another wallet, redeposit the same capital, and continue to earn a bonus off the same capital. It also means that when people deposit, they have to actually be active and spend time in the system in order for this capital to build up. And when they harvest it, then the commission goes to the person that referred them. Now, with compounding, when you compound, you're harvesting and you're putting it back into your deposit. This triggers a bonus. So people that are doing positive actions, right? People that are compounding, people that are letting their capital grow, are going to make the largest commissions for the people that referred them.
Perfect. And I guess just the second part is that just on the first compound or the first cash out, or is that ongoing?
It's ongoing. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so it's perpetual. It's just ongoing forever. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we want people to. We don't want a system where the first time they deposit, people get a bonus, and then there's no incentive for people to encourage others to continue to deposit. So
that's right.
As long as people are continuing to compound and continuing to deposit, rewards will be paid.
Awesome, perfect. Thanks very much. That clears it up.
Yeah, and people will notice if you go on, say, Ape O'Clock, for example, and you click on our banner ad, you'll see it takes you to the Manor Farm website using the referral link of the person who did the art for the ad. So we're very big about letting our community participate and rewarding them for their work. So everybody that clicks on that ad on Ape O'Clock and deposits and gets involved with the Manor Farm, that commission will go to the person that created the art for the banner ad. And this is just how we like to set up our systems to be mutually beneficial for everybody. And yeah, anybody can go check that out, right? So let me I'm gonna just remute you just so we don't have any background noise or anything, and I'm gonna go to the next person in line here. Okay, there you go.
So,
Yeah.
so with the banner art. So is it like a contest that you just post and host in the chat, or like how do we know, you know, like when it's going on and where to send it?
All right, so it's ongoing, and the reason why it's ongoing is because we have a consistent marketing budget, right? And as people produce better ads or ads that speak more directly to whatever we have going on at the time, we'll replace the old ads with the new ones. And the way it works is you have to post them in the Manor Farm Telegram group, tagging both me and one of the admins. And also, you have to send it or tweet it using the hashtag Manor Farm on Twitter. That way, I can look at the hashtag on Manor Farm on Twitter and just quickly go through them and see all the ones that were submitted. And also, I'll get tagged on Telegram, which really doesn't help much because right now I have 222 tags on this group. I have, I don't know how many, probably like 600 on Grip. I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of missed DMs because I just get too much to keep on top of it. So this is why you have to tag an admin as well. And they'll get it to me. But using the hashtag the Manor Farm or Manor Farm on Twitter, that'll make it way more visible for me, so I can go through. And it's an ongoing thing, right? So we wanted to make sure we got some out, some available, so we could get some ads up before the project goes live. And we've got 3 really good ones that we have up already, and more will be coming up. And we announced the ones that we chose in the group. So you'll know because we'll tag you and we'll announce it, and also because you'll start seeing commissions come in. So of course you won't see the commissions start coming in until it goes live, but you will see them. So let me just go to the next person. Thank you for your question. I'm trying to find the next person with their hand up. There's so many people in here. Oh, here we go. Okay. What's up, AJ? Oh, I've been meaning to get with you, AJ, about having our thing go up on Polypixel.
Yes, brother. No worries. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome, brother. Hey, I just want to start by saying thank you for everything. This has been a life-changing opportunity. Shout out to Thomas G and Bartertown for the OG info on getting in early. But anyway, man, life-changing. Yeah. What's up, brother? So yeah, man, I was a little bit late. I had one last question as in regards to the multiplier. So what in the yield farm layer 1, what is going to be the largest multiplier? I'm assuming it's the BUSD LP, drip BUSD LP. And then the second part of that question is, will there be a grace period that we can put our funds in the yield farm before it goes live, or is it right at 11?
All right. So the way it works is, so the way the multipliers work is there's a, I believe it's a 15x multiplier on Rev BUSD, a 12x multiplier on Rev BNB, a 10x multiplier on Drip BUSD, and then all the other farms and pools have a 5x multiplier. So there's a significantly higher multiplier on the core contracts. Now, as far as a grace period, yes, there's going to be a half an hour grace period from the time liquidity is added to the time that the emissions start. And this is to allow everybody to get their referrals going and set up whatever strategy they want to onboard the capital, and also to ensure that everybody gets a fair shake at it, and there isn't some situation where it goes live and the first person that enters gets all of the rewards for that first block or two that should be going to everybody. So we open it up for a half an hour. This allows everybody who's ready at listing to get in. So that way, when those emissions start, they're sufficiently spread out to everybody, and everybody gets a fair shot at it, and there's no insider manipulation that's possible there. So yeah, it's going to be about a half an hour. So it's going to be similar to how we did the pre-sale. So how I do it is I say at 11 o'clock, be ready, right? And then at 11 o'clock, I'm going to start a voice chat. I'm going to give a quick breakdown, like a 10-15 minute breakdown of how everything will go. And then I'll start a short timer. That short timer will be, say, like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. That way, everybody can get back on the same page, and they know exactly when that liquidity is going to get added. Once that liquidity is added, we then open up staking, and people can start getting into the farm and pools. They can start staking. They can start referring. And then a half an hour after the staking opens, the rewards start. So, yep.
Okay, perfect, man. No, that sounds great. So really, the highest multiplier is going to be Rev BUSD. So is there going to be like a swap for PREV if we were able to get in early? What's that look like?
Yeah, so in that half an hour grace period, that's when we'll make it available for people to swap their PREV for their Rev. So everybody that got into the pre-sale, so the pre-sale goes live, we take the liquidity and the capital that was raised, we divert it where it needs to go, both adding liquidity and putting it into the safe house. When that liquidity is added, we then open up for staking, and we open up for people to swap their pre-rev for rev. That happens all at the same time. Immediately after liquidity is added, that's when people can swap their pre-rev for rev, and that's when people can start getting into the staking pools.
Okay, dope. I think, yeah, we're on the same page, man. So we'll be able to get it all done within a half an hour. I'm assuming it'll be kind of like a voice chat, live launch kind of event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, no, I'm stoked. So I'm going to rally the troops, and let's get it, bro.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited about it. You know, it's not just the fact that we're about to, make a huge impact on drip and really shoot the drip price and drip liquidity through the roof. It's also just the fact that we're about to change the game as far as yield farming goes. And whenever we can bring some massive improvement to the space, it's always a big deal for me. So, there's multiple reasons why I'm extremely excited, and very little of them have to do with, we're about to make so much money, right? Making a lot of money, of course, that's like when you get into crypto, that's what it's about, making money. But as the developer, I'm just as excited about changing the game, creating opportunity for people, changing people's lives, and all the great things we've done with Drip, right? Taking that same energy and putting it right into yield farming. So it's amazing, man. All right, let me go next year. All right, MD, you should be good. Actually, I tried to allow you to speak, MD. You were muted for some reason. I don't know why you were muted. Maybe one of the admins muted you for some reason, but I don't know what that deal is. So I'm gonna go to Nate. What's up, Nate?
Hey, Forex. Thanks, appreciate it a lot. For L1, I have an L1 and a quick garden one. For L1, since we're going to be staking the rev for the LPs for rev, and then throwing it in the safe house, is it better to pair the BUSD with rev to get a higher multiplier, or just use that BUSD to stake it, single staking, to make more rev ahead of the L2?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I get what you're saying. It's a matter of your risk profile, right? So pairing it with rev is going to be, I would say, a slightly higher risk model than just pairing it as a single asset BUSD, but it's going to pay you out in a lot more rev. So you're going to get a way higher APY if you pair that BUSD with rev, or you put it into the drip liberation contract to pair it with BUSD, or to pair it with drip. than if you just put it right into the BUSD pool. If you put it right into the BUSD pool, that's a stable coin. It's a fairly low risk way to do it. You know, because it's a lower risk way to do it, it has less of a payout. There's also a 6% tax, a deposit fee if you get into the single asset BUSD pool that isn't applied to the core farms and pools. So it's really a matter of strategy and what your risk profile is. The way that you'll get the most rev is by either pairing it with rev or getting into the drip liberation contract and pairing it with drip. So that's it. It's just like a matter of strategy and what your risk profile is. But okay, I would say if you take a slightly higher risk model, the payout is, you know, that much more substantial. So it's like, it's not just taking a higher risk that isn't equally, or I would say more than equally rewarded. And also, like I've been mentioning this whole time, this is as low risk as you can get with a yield farm as well. So when I say it's higher risk, that's within the range of, you know, a low risk, you know, system.
Okay, appreciate it. And with the garden, so I'm heavier in the garden to front run the L1 and everything else. When I plan on harvesting the LPs to get, you know, the ball rolling with rev quickly. If I do harvest and I subsequently my daily rate is still like at 3 because I'm pooling the LPs before the fourth. Now, when I do that harvest, will the percentages drop like day by day if I want to keep pulling my LPs to keep to get into the farm to make that rev? Or how would I? So
you stay at about 3% in the garden by growing out your plants, taking the seeds that you're harvesting from your plants, putting them back in the ground to grow in a larger garden, which then allows you to grow exponentially more seeds. And this allows you to stay at about a 3% daily ROI. And you're involved with it. That's been very consistent and it's working extremely well. When you start taking those seeds and instead of putting them in the ground, you sell them, which is essentially your way of taking the drip BUSD out of the garden, you're no longer taking those seeds and putting them in the ground. Now, just like a real garden, your plants, your fresh plants that you're putting in the ground are what's going to have the greatest production rate. As your garden starts to get older and you're not continuing to, you know, put fresh seeds in the ground and continue to grow out that garden, you're just the amount of seeds that you're able to produce from it is going to reduce. This is important because this is how we continue to pay out a high ROI to the people that are active and are continuing to grow their garden. Some of that capital that's going to them to make it sustainable is coming from the people that aren't being as active and then just, you know, had their initial stake and are just, you know, selling the seeds every day. So it's there is a value transfer there, and that is you know, how a system like that can be sustainable. So yeah, you will see as you take those seeds and sell them instead of replanting them and growing out your garden, you'll see the production rate of your garden start to reduce. The amount of seeds it produces reduces, which means that it's sustainable for everybody else that is continuing to grow their garden.
Okay, so then every day, let's say I harvest, I will have fewer LPs per day that I originally had as I'm pooling now without removing it from the garden, right?
Yeah, so you'll be harvesting less seeds. So if you stop using your seeds to put them in the ground to grow more fresh plants, you'll notice that your garden will start producing less seeds, just like how it would in real life. And you know, this yield will get smaller and smaller as you stop compounding it and doing depositing. This is how people can continue to be rewarded that are active in the system. And you know, I'll also say that when you sell your seeds and you remove some of that drip BUSD liquidity to put into the farm, what that's going to do is lower the exchange rate for new capital coming in to make it so they can buy plants a little bit cheaper. So it also becomes more attractive for new capital to come in. So we made it sustainable by making some major adjustments in the way that these kinds of games were done in the past through Shrimp Farmer and all of this. So not only will the exchange rate adjust, so people with less capital can get more plants as people that were initially in there start leaving. We also have the time multiplier, which is increasing the buying power of capital every day by 0.1% for new capital coming in. And we also it also addresses the people that are removing by having the amount of seeds that they're able to produce depreciate as they stop growing out their garden. So we have like really 3 very strong mechanisms that make it so it's always attractive for new capital to come in, and it remains more sustainable than any other type of game like of its kind in the space. So yeah, that should answer your question, I think.
I greatly appreciate it. Someone else we also want to know, if possible, what if cake drops? How does that affect rehypothecation feature? Do you have measures with that, or what is your feeling?
So the way that it works is that it's earning this cake based on our collateral, but the collateral isn't being spent, right? The collateral is just being put in the staking pool, and we're earning cake off of it. So the cake, the value of cake is going to increase or depreciate. It's going to be volatile. It's going to do whatever it does. Regardless of that, we don't lose any of our principal. And this cake is basically frosting on top of the cake. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is additional 30-40% we're making on top without actually spending any of our principal. So the price of cake could do a 2x. That's great. We'll have 2x more of additional capital that we wouldn't otherwise have to do buybacks, to pay for marketing, etc. The price of cake could go down, and it's fine because we didn't lose any of our principal. And it's just, you know, it's essentially it's extra capital that we otherwise wouldn't have. So the price of cake, you know, it matters because we're earning 30-40% API on it, but it doesn't matter in the sense that we have anything to lose.
And we get BUSD, not cake. It's not either or.
No, we get cake, and then it uses that cake to buy rev, right? And it removes that rev from circulation. So that's the way it works. All right, let me see.
What about in L2? We get cake and we sell it for BUSD.
No, it's the same. It's the same function. The rehypothecation, it's always taking the cake that it's earning in the back end and sending it to PancakeSwap to buy Rev in L1 or Dog and Pigs in L2 and removing them from circulation. So there's no reason to swap it as an intermediate to BUSD, right? Because it's going immediately to buying the Dog and Pigs or Rev and removing it from circulation.
And we can't just like wait for a better cake price. Is it just immediate?
Well, we wouldn't want to do that because then I become some capital manager who's there speculating on the price of cake with all of the APY that's going on in the back end, right? We want it to be trustless and decentralized. And it acts as a way of DCAing, right? So it's better to be trustless, decentralized, and act as essentially a DCA model where it's doing a bit over time, every day, every block, essentially, you know, spending it wherever it is at the time, right? You don't want me acting as some capital manager here, speculating on the price of cake, right? it's much better if it's a decentralized trustless model, and then it just DCAs into Rev and Dog and Pigs, buying a bit every day, right? So that's the ideal model, right? And of course, we could do different things, but it wouldn't be ideal. All right. So can
we have an
hey,
NFT
on like I said, if you have something of on like I said, if you have something that's like, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we make changes? Can we do that? I said let's handle it privately, right? So
yeah,
that was going. I meant that to you as well.
I just want an NFT of your dog.
We will. I'm sure we'll have some kind of NFT integration, but that would come in with layers, right? That's going to be something that's handled by L1, not L1, sorry, L3, L4. We know what L3 will be, but yeah, these are all things that basically all of the partnerships that we have lined up with Drip will also be available for Dog and Pig tokens. So we're not going to have any kind of partnership with Rev because Rev is only a 14-day period, and it acts as essentially a launch pad for L2. But L2 is, that's the long-term project that's going to be going on for years, and that's something that we can start to build partnerships on. So, all right, I'm going to go to the next person. All right, Gregory, you good to go? Gregory Crypto. All right, I'm gonna go to someone else. I'm gonna go to someone else, but I'm gonna leave you unmuted just in case you come back.
Oh, there we go. I think okay. I was talking to myself.
Yeah, so, you have to unmute yourself.
So yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'm building a small team, just got on here a few weeks ago. Super hyped about this. Community's awesome. So
thank you.
I'm 100% in the drip, but I'm getting a lot of questions about the Manor Farm. So if I got some new people, small stakes, what's the best thing to get these guys started, even including myself? Put 500 or $1,000. I mean, if everybody on here joined got a little bit into the Manor Farm at this point, it could make a big difference. So just looking for some advice as a newbie.
All right. I would say the only real basic advice I could give as far as how much you should put in is put in an amount that you're okay with losing, right? Because that's just, I can't give you any advice about how much you should be investing in a project. I'm not a capital manager. I don't have licensing for that or anything like that. But my general advice for any crypto project or any investment period is put in an amount that if to lose it for whatever reason, because it's possible that you can lose money in systems that have nothing to do with the system itself. For example, you end up clicking on some random link anywhere, like on 4chan, you click on some random link, you approve some random token that has nothing to do with Drip, and you end up getting your wallet compromised or something. This has nothing to do with Manor Farm. This has nothing to do with Drip, but you would still lose capital that you had invested in every project you're in, right? So I would say in general, just don't invest more than you're willing to lose, no matter how much confidence you have in an individual project, because this is crypto, and especially if you're a newbie, there's all kinds of ways to lose your capital that have nothing to do with the project that you're actually invested in, right? So, I mean, that's it. I would say, like you also don't want to spread your capital very thin as well. So what I use, I'm not going to tell anybody what they should do, but what I do is I find a couple really solid projects and I go heavy into them, still taking risk into account, but I go heavy into them as opposed to buying 1,000 different projects and not being able to even manage them, not knowing what's going on with them. You're way better off, I feel, like getting behind a developer that has a solid track record, investing in a project that has good game theory, it makes sense, it's solving issues, it has a good use case, it has a good reward model, and just going heavy into it. within your risk profile. But and that's it. And then for some people, I know there's some people out there that are saying, I've made so much in drip. Should I use some of the capital I made in drip to put it in the Manor Farm? And what I would say to that is, if you're thinking about that, you're looking at things the wrong way, right? You want to continue to accumulate your strong assets and continue to invest in your strong assets, and you want to cut loose your weak assets, right? So for a lot of people, drip is the only project that's made them profit all year and will consistently make them profit into the future. So that's the last thing you want to give up to try to go into some new project, whether it be the Manor Farm or anything, right? You want to cut loose your projects that are dead weights and are weak, and you want to use that capital to reinforce your solid projects and continue to accumulate and and really like build up your seed of these solid projects. And I would say drip is, I mean, that's the most solid DeFi project you can get into. So I would say don't invest more than you're willing to lose, and get the capital either by bringing fresh capital to the system or by cutting loose your dead weight in your wallet. You know, these random shit coins that you might have been holding for the past 6 months that are either depreciating in value or just kind of sitting there doing nothing. Because you put that into the Manor Farm, and it's designed to create profit like we've never seen before through a yield farm. So I hope that answers your questions. Right? I can't give you too much advice as far as how to manage your capital.
No, I understand that helps out a lot. And also, I want to shout out to a lot of your admins and so forth in the drip chat here. They've been extremely helpful. Ray, yeah. I don't even know if Ray sleeps, but he's helped me out personally, you know, in the open chat. Right. It's fantastic. So good work, guys, and I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Salute, bro.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna go through the next one here. So we only got like 5 left, so I'm just gonna get through all of them here.
Mute yourself if you're not speaking, even if Forex unmuted you while he's speaking. Some people make some noise.
Yeah,
so mute yourself.
Okay, Ben, you got like a Frankenstein avatar. You gotta unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Hello? Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that. Hey, how's it?
Yep.
I have 2 fairly simple questions. My first question is, what's the exact block height that the PREV B sale opens? And question number 2 is there any plan to address the referral system in the Manor Farm? Because I noticed that if you refer someone and then they like accidentally click another link or some embedded link on a website, you'll actually lose the referral and it'll go to that person whose link they clicked.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to think about this, right? As far as the referral, right? It's not a matter of fixing it, right? Because this is the way it was designed, and it's designed to allow for people to essentially kind of switch teams, like what is not allowed in drip. There is a way to address this, and it's by doing it essentially on chain. So when people essentially use that referral, it's not just saved in cookies, and it's not able to be replaced on chain. And that is an option. That's something I'll consider. That's something I'll definitely consider. Yeah, just give me a little bit of time to consider that, because it's not a matter of fixing it. This is the way it was designed, and but I'll give a bit more thought of whether we should adjust that or not. And then the exact block height, I don't have that yet, because the way that we do it is we come on here, we set a time, we come on here, we do like a voice chat like this to get people hyped, to answer questions, and then we'll have a timer to count down, and then when that timer hits 0, we'll call a function to essentially unpause the contracts. So we're not going to do it based on like a countdown like that. We're going to do it, when I say countdown, we're not going to do it based on block height. We're going to do it by calling a function when the timer hits 0. right? And that gives us a little more flexibility about like being able to answer people's questions and getting people hype and all that stuff.
So just be here at 11 a.m. EST, January 4th.
Yeah, and I would expect give yourself like an hour, because we'll probably spend 10, 15 minutes in here getting people hype, and then what we'll do is we'll have a countdown to 11, and then we'll start the voice chat at 11. We'll get people hype, all that stuff, answer some questions, and then I'll start a short timer, which is just like 10 or 15 minutes long. That way everybody can get back on the same page, and when that one hits 0, we call the function to unpause the contract, and everybody. Right. And the thing is with this is, sorry, we are making the staking available, like I said, for a half an hour before any emissions start. So that gives time for people to get their referrals in order. And also it ensures that there's like no insiders that will get in before anybody and get like 1 or 2 blocks of all the rewards. Everybody gets the same release at the same time. It makes it fair. So, so that's that.
And so then right after that happens, Rev would be listed, and then you just have to compete with the market to buy it at whatever rate, correct?
Yeah, so we will do the pre-sale raise. Immediately after the pre-sale raise is done, we'll allocate the funds, you know, in the way that it's described in the white paper. We'll unlock the pre-sale swapping to allow people to swap their PREV token for Rev. When you get into the pre-sale on the website, it's a contract that will automatically send you the PREV token. So you don't have to wait for us to do distribution or anything. When we when immediately after the pre-sale is done, we'll allocate the capital the way it's supposed to go, add liquidity. Once liquidity is added, we'll unpause the swapping contract and unpause the staking contract. That will allow people to swap their PREV for Rev, and that will allow people to get into the staking pools. A half an hour after this, the emissions start. So that's and it will all be done with its own individual timer, so everybody can be on the same page. And a timer starting at 11, and everybody, no one really needs a timer for that, but just, you know, for some people, 11 EST, we start everything. We get people excited about it. We'll have another like 5 or 10 minute countdown for the actual unpausing of the pre-sale contract. Once liquidity is added, then we'll start a half an hour timer. And when that one hits 0, we emissions start.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I guess just like something that I thought of for the referral thing, even just like a front end prompt would be like perfect. Just like, hey, are you sure you want to switch your referral? And like I think that would be even sufficient. But yeah, thanks for answering all the questions.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. And, you know, these are questions that are good because, you know, it's I've answered them, but obviously some people still need them answered. So I appreciate that you asked, because, you know, we need to get this information out. All right. The questions list is adding up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us like 15 more minutes to answer people's questions. And then I got to, I can't be here all day, you know? So, all right. And it's not that I can't be working on the project, of course. I have a lot of things to do as far as, you know, the marketing and developing side of things that I need to get to today as well. So, I just unmuted someone. I think James.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing, man. I just wanted to say thank you for Drip. I was in on the pre-sale. I got a bunch of friends in. We've all made a ton of money with you, and we're excited for what the firm is going to bring, man.
Me too. Me too. I couldn't be more excited. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to say thank you, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. That was nice. So, I'm going to unmute. Let's see. All right, crypto.
I just had a quick. Yeah, just a quick question. I came into this late, so I was just wanted to know if it had been recorded, so I can listen to it from the beginning.
Someone probably recorded it. Yeah, I'll find out. Okay,
yeah,
cool. It. Yeah, Bartertown got it. So he'll put it up on YouTube, and we'll get it around.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks, Bartertown. I'm glad that you did that.
No doubt, bro.
All right, let me see. All right, it looks like we got 2 more. Let me just get to them. We had a bunch more. I don't know if they got lost in the shuffle or what, but that's fine because 2 is perfect. Okay, I just muted you. Your name starts with an R. Unmuted you. I mean, your hand was up.
Yeah, thanks, Forex.
Yep.
I was just wondering about the non-core staking and pools on the farm and what the fee is of those. I think you mentioned 6% for the BUSD token, but is it across the board 6% for the non-core?
It's 6% for pools and it's 4% for farms. And the reason for this is because farms, through providing liquidity, provide more utility and are more of a benefit to the platform. And individual assets, they're a bit less of a benefit and utility to the platform, but we even this out by making a slightly higher fee on it, which then goes to buying the Rev token. So that's the way we did it to even that out. And yeah, it's 6% for pools, 4% for farms, which is not only is that competitive with all the other farms and pools out there. We're not charging some crazy fee or anything. We're also utilizing that fee in a way that is way more fair and way more beneficial to all investors than any of the other platforms out there. So like I said, only 10% of that fee goes to pay developers, right? All of the rest of it goes towards either marketing or buybacks and burns, or to make the system sustainable, to create the L3 and all that stuff. So I mean, it's more decentralized and fair, and just built to reward the holders than any other platform in regards to fees as well. So
perfect, thank you. And then one more thing, if whenever you're performing the swaps you're talking about, like for example the Rev BUSD, Rev BNB, will that be something like the Drip Liberation contract or the Faucet swap page, or will that be on PancakeSwap?
Do you mean? Oh no, we're doing it all on PancakeSwap, and the reason for this is because there's no tax associated with the Rev token. So the reason why we did the reservoir is because it allowed people to it allowed for us to create a protocol where there was no tax on buying, but tax on other transactions. And in order to do this, we had to create our own DEX, our own liquidity pool. And we have a lot of very cool things like the time-weighted rewards to liquidity providers and all of this cool stuff that we developed that took us creating our own DEX. We don't need to implement these things into the Manor Farm. And what doing it 100% on PancakeSwap does is it allows it to be much easier for us to trend on DEX tools, trend on these other sites, which are pulling data exclusively from PancakeSwap and not even accounting for our native DEX. So I expect us to get hit like #1 trending on DEX tools like immediately. I expect us to get on all of these trending lists like basically right at launch, because we're going to have a huge wave of activity coming in, a bunch of capital, a bunch of price appreciation, and it's all taking place on PancakeSwap, which is the DEX that all of these like trending sites are looking at. So
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, that's the answer to that. All right. All right, Zeph.
Hi, so a question about the garden. When compounding in the garden, I'm noticing that fractional plants are not being added. What's happening to that balance? Is it being added as LP?
So you can, the front end will not allow you to do any kind of compounding with fractions of plants, and this is to kind of prevent confusion. The if it's a system that allows you to add it in some additional way that's not compounding your deposit, yeah, it goes into the liquidity pool, and it goes into the pool that pays out rewards essentially. But the way that we designed it is it won't let you do any kind of action which you wouldn't be rewarded for if you so essentially the front end won't let you do an action that you won't be rewarded for through the fact that you're trying to like compound a fraction of a plant or something like this. But as far as like the other ways that you can interact with the system, it still credits it. It still credits you for it. The main reason why we didn't want to allow people for doing things like compounding or withdrawing with fractions is because it's not displayed on the front end due to the fact that there's no fractions of plants. So it just created a ton of confusion. So we wanted to make it like so I don't want to say idiot proof, but as simple and as easy to use as possible. So the system, the front end at least, is designed to prevent you from doing something that you won't be credited for. All right, Odin.
Yes, thank you. First, I want to say I'm very grateful to have found the Drip project. I only got in the last couple weeks, but what a life changer, not just for myself, but for everybody in the community. And I appreciate your hard work and making it available. So thank you for that. And the other thing I have is there been an opening price set for the Rev pre-sale token? Or the Rev pre-sale?
So I don't know the exact price off the top of my head. I know it's going to be around $8. So it's going to be, the reason why I don't know the exact price off the top of my head because it's not really that important what the specific price is. What matters is if you get into the public presale, you get it for 10% under listing. If you get into the private presale, you get it for 20% under listing, and it's going to list at, of course, 10% higher than public presale. So the listing price independently is kind of irrelevant. What matters is what the listing price is relative to what the pre-sale price is, right? So, but yeah. I do know it's going to be about $8. So like between like $8 and $8.20, something like that.
No, I appreciate that. Kind of helps me to get some funds together of what I could afford, to participate in the next level. So,
well, the thing is, like that's why we have fractions of tokens, right? So even if it was a very high price, you don't have to buy a full token to get involved with the farm. There's no like minimum deposit sizes or anything like that. So even if the price was $1,000 per token, you could still buy $100 worth and still participate fully as like a fully invested person in the project. Utilizing all of the platform and everything involved with the project, no matter what the price is. So that's really what matters is the amount of liquidity in it, what the pre-sale price was, and what the listing price is relative to the pre-sale price and liquidity. So whether the price was $1,000 or $10, a 5x is a 5x, a 10x is a 10x, and it's going to be 5x of whatever you invest in it, 10x of whatever you invest in it, whether you buy a fraction of one or 10 of them. So that's all.
All right, gotcha. Hey, I really appreciate it. All right.
All right, man.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I see one more person, and that's cool because I said I do it for 15 more minutes, and we got like 4 minutes left, so I'll just do this last person here, and then we'll jump out. All right, let me see. I just unmuted you, so if you had your hand up, I didn't look at your name, so I don't know what your name was. It looks like you had a picture of your face on there.
Hello?
All right. Yeah, okay. I was just about to skip you.
Hello?
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hey, Forex. Thank you so much for taking my question. Thank you for this incredible opportunity that I'm grateful to be part of. This entire world is really new to me, so I just have a kind of a newbie question. I'm invested in the faucet right now. I'm also invested in the garden. I have about 53 plants, and I'm compounding those daily. I have additional capital that I want to invest. And if I understand you correctly, what I should be doing with that is putting BUSD in my wallet and then using that on the 4th to buy Rev tokens, which I can then stake.
Yep.
Is that the correct?
Yeah. So the way that's going to work.
Way forward with that, and then
yes. Mm-hmm.
And then take my the LP tokens that my farm is that my garden is producing, and stake those also to earn more rev.
That last part's up to you, right?
Differently, I would pair that to the.
You're breaking up a little bit, but I got.
So I can either take those LP and cash them out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but what I would say is, all right. So you don't have. It's fine. I got your question, so I'm just gonna answer it. So
okay.
So as far as fresh capital, if you want to put fresh capital in, the best way to do it is try to get into the pre-sale. The pre-sale is going to sell in seconds, right? Only 500 people will be able to get in about. So, chances are slim that you'll get into the pre-sale, but it's still worth a shot. Your next best option is buying at listing. And for most people, buying at listing is going to be the best option anyways, because most people want to buy more than $1,000 worth. So you're capped at $1,000 if you want to get into the pre-sale anyways. And the listing price is only 10% higher than the pre-sale. So at listing, you can go to PancakeSwap, you can buy the Rev token, and then from there, in order to start farming, you would pair the Rev token with BUSD. It's going to give you a LP token, which represents that you've added liquidity. Like if you're in the garden, you know about this. It gives you an LP token, which represents your share of liquidity on PancakeSwap. That's what you stake in the farm. The farm will then start paying you Rev tokens, right? The okay. Rev BUSD farm will start paying you Rev tokens. You can now take those Rev tokens and put them in the safe house, which is the single asset staking pool for Rev. If you go to pools, you see it's the one at the top left. You can stake your Rev in there, and that's going to pay you out BUSD every block. So just for having your Rev sitting in there, it's going to just be paying you a BUSD. Every block, every day, every minute, every hour, BUSD is paying you out. You can then take that BUSD and decide what you want to do with it. You can either take that BUSD, pair it with the Rev that you're getting paid out in the farm to put it back in to increase your stake of Rev BUSD, which is going to increase the amount of Rev that you get paid out of it. You could take that BUSD and decide that you want to pocket it because that's your way of taking profit on the platform and removing some risk. Or you could take that BUSD, put it in the drip liberation contract. Now that's going to give you drip BUSD liquidity, and you can put that in the drip BUSD farm to start earning Rev, right? And you're going to continue to accumulate those Revs until L2. You could also, if you decide, put that BUSD into the drip liberation contract and then put that into the garden as well. Because the garden, even though the farm will be live, the garden is still paying out 3% a day, which is massive, right? So it's, I know that some people have the strategy where they plan to take some of the LP that they've earned in the garden, remove it from the garden to put it into the farm, which is a fine strategy. But keep in mind, when you do that, that's going to reduce the amount of seeds that you're earning from the garden. And essentially, you're cutting down your ability to earn from the garden to go into the farm. Now, that some people might want to do that as a speculative play, but I would say if you have capital that isn't in the garden, I mean, why would you take capital out of the garden that you're making 3% a day off of sustainably? That's like an amazing ROI and an amazing platform. Why would you use that to go into the farm when you could use something else that maybe isn't earning you 3% a day sustainably and isn't, it doesn't have the massive benefits that the faucet in the garden, provide for you. So that's it. I would say that's like that answers your questions, I believe.
It sure does. Thank you so much. Thank you. And this is an incredible community that you put together, and what a great opportunity you put. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, it's nothing without the people that are involved, like the investors, the admins, everybody. So, you know, you're just as much a part of it as I am.
Incredible community.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. I really can't, you know, stay here all day. So, I appreciate everybody. For people that, you know, might have showed up late, it's the 4th. It's January 4th in 3 days at 11 a.m. EST. Be here. Be ready. We're going to open the voice chat at 11. About 15 minutes after that, we're going to open up the pre-sale for staking. I mean, it's not for staking, for swapping, for people to get into the pre-sale. We'll then have a half an hour grace period where people can buy the Rev token, people can refer each other, and people can get into the staking pool. Then emissions start, right? And you know, we're here to change the game. Our protocol is designed to change the game. It's the only DeFi protocol that allows people to secure profits in the form of BUSD without needing to sell the underlying asset. And it's the only truly decentralized lending platform, yield farm in the space. On top of this, it's the only one to do collateral rehypothecation to earn an additional 30-40% APY, low risk. And it's also the only DeFi protocol that has a dynamic, decentralized supply control algorithm to control the supply of the token to allow for price appreciation agnostic to the current demand for the token. So it can address the supply to allow for price appreciation no matter what the given demand is. And we're the first person to create this innovation, or I should say the first team to implement this innovation. It's going to allow us to be first movers in the space, first movers in the most utilized DeFi protocol in crypto, which is lending yield farm, right? And due to this, and due to our ability to evolve and our fairness and our decentralized trustless nature and everything we have lined up, we're going to become the premier staking, lending, and yield farming protocol in the world. It's designed to do this. We have a solid roadmap to do this. And at this point, it's just a matter of time. And Drip itself has the best analytics it's ever had now, 9 months after launch. All of our analytics are going parabolic. We have major partnerships in the works. In February, we have BetFury partnership coming out. BetFury is developing a game specifically for Drip, right? So we're going to have a massive co-promotion of both our communities. And there's going to be a game on BetFury that you can only play with Drip, which is huge. Not only that, you'll be able to play all the other games with Drip on their platform. And for playing games with Drip on their platform, they're going to pay you in their BetFury token, right? On top of this, we have the NFT project, right? So there's 2 NFT projects that are in the works, right? There's one with the name of Current, and this is an entertainment and celebrity-based NFT project, which has already 7 high-profile celebrities licensed and ready to go with their NFTs. And the way it works is when people buy those NFTs with BUSD or BNB, on the back end, it buys Drip and stakes that Drip for them. And when people hold their NFTs, they get quarterly payouts from the Drip protocol coming from the stake. So it's going to drive a ton more buy pressure into the platform for people that want to hold these NFTs. And it's going to pay them out, but it's going to pay them out at a rate that, you know, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say that it's going to pay them at a rate that would be less than what they would make as like a regular Drip investor. But let's just say it's designed to give them the NFT that they want, but lock up substantially more Drip than even would be the case if they were to get into drip using our front end, right? And on top of this, it has the celebrity backing. It has, you know, incorporation, like with you know, contracts and to secure all of these licensing agreements, essentially. We have another development team, which is building a sort of moon token, which uses a percentage of each swap to buy drip and remove it from circulation. And we have one other major NFT partnership, which is a done deal already, but we're waiting to announce it as a co-announcement, likely in February or early March. And this was with who I believe to be the most innovative NFT platform in the world, right? They're growing. They're getting up to like OpenSea type of status, but they're way more innovative than OpenSea. They're doing way more, right? And our deal with them is they're on a different chain. They're on the ERC20 network. Our deal with them is to do an NFT launch on both chains. So these NFTs have cross-chain utility where they're staked in their metaverse to get all of the rewards that they provide in their metaverse, which is minting essentially of their token and all kinds of other games that you can get involved with in their platform. And when I say the name of this platform, you guys, I mean, your heads are going to explode, right? It's really that big of a deal. And I don't want to get too deep into the details of what they provide because I don't want to leak who they are before they're ready to announce it. And on our chain, we're providing utility in drip. So essentially the way it will work is there'll be a random mint event where everybody pays the same amount to mint their NFT, and the rarity of the NFT you get will be dependent partially on luck and partially on how much drip you have staked in the faucet. The rarity of the NFT you have when you stake it on the drip network will determine the amount of drip you get paid out. And this drip is coming from when people use the deployer wallet as a referrer. So right now, when people use the deployer wallet as their referrer, that drip is going to the deployer wallet and gets automatically sent to the tax pool. And then that's used to pay out rewards. We're going to divert a small percentage of that drip that's going to the dev wallet, and it's going to be going to a staking contract and paid out to people who stake these NFTs. And the amount of drip that you get paid out for staking these NFTs is dependent on the rarity of the NFT you hold. And the rarity of the NFT that you get from the mint event is partially based on luck and partially based on the amount of drip you have in the faucet. So that's massive. That's essentially giving a shared ownership of two major platforms cross-chain on two of the major, networks, ERC20 and BSC. And it really couldn't be bigger, right? So I'm hesitant to continue to list all of the major things we have going for us because I don't want to take away from all of the insane things that I just mentioned, right? So I'm going to cut it there. But, I appreciate all of you for being here. We're making history. We're going to continue to make history. 2022 is going to make 2021 look like a blip on the radar. And, you're all in the right places and you're all as early as can be. When I say early, I mean that we don't even have 1/10 of the capital that these other projects have that are our peers. And it's really just because they've been around for a lot longer. But our growth analytics are outpacing all of them. And it's only a matter of time before we break past them and we have a larger liquidity pool than them and more TVL. And when that happens, right, that's multi-$1,000 drip, right? Basically just us getting on par with our peers who we're substantially better than, but they've been around for a lot longer than us. That takes us to a multi-$1,000 drip by itself without any of the partnerships, without all the other protocols that are locking up drip and going to be locking up drip. So, let's just get out there, let's spread the word, and Thank you. Thank you to everyone. All right, guys, I'm hopping off. I'm gonna close the chat as well. So let's get in text now.